transferred to Manchester United today.
Football predictions.
If Barbara Rangers nil, Ipswich Town 1.
Football predictions.
Hi, it's Peter Guest, and I'm here with The Moose, and we're here for another episode of footballpredictions.net, covering the podcast covering League One games from the 1st to the 3rd of November 2024. And you can see the details for all the matches we're about to discuss in our podcast on our website, footballpredictions.net, along with the fixtures from just about every other football competition in the world.
Yes, and on our website, it'll show you where to watch the games on local broadcast channels plus video streaming services, as well as team news and match odds from local bookmakers. And please look in the description of this podcast episode for direct clickable links to all of the matches we are about to discuss. Geolocation and live streaming rules apply. 18 plus gamble aware.
Yes, and for the first game here, we've got Monaco up in second, take on Angers, who are 15th. It's on Friday, 1st of November, 6 p.m. UK time kickoff. For this game, footballpredictions.net, of course, provides your local kickoff time, betting odds and available viewing options. You can live stream this one, watch it on Bet365, use our bonus code FP365 if you're new to them, and watch it subscription free and for free. So how are these two teams looking?
Yeah, Monaco up until last weekend were looking very good because they were undefeated in League One. However, they traveled to Nice and they lost 2-1 last Sunday. So that was their first defeat so far this season. Up until then, they had 6 wins and 2 draws in League One. One of those draws was then in their previous home game at home to Lille, in a game where we said that was going to end with under 2.5 goals, and it ended 0-0 in that game. When we look at Angers, it's interesting to see how they have sort of managed to try and adapt life in League One, because they started off with 3 defeats in League One. And whereas Monaco had their first defeat last week, Angers had their first win last week. And not only that, guess what? It was also a win that we predicted here on footballpredictions.net. We predicted Angers' first win of the season. We said 2-1. They did end up with a more convincing win of 4-2 in this game. But yeah, nevertheless, we had both teams to score and Angers to win. So that was the first win of the season. And when you now look at the record for the last 6 games, they've actually only lost 1 game, which was at home to Rennes. The other 4 matches ended 1-1. So yeah, Monaco, this is by no means going to be an easy game for them, although we do think they will make it look rather easy for themselves.
Yeah, Monaco, I mean, they're pretty good at home, aren't they? I mean, they're unbeaten in their last 11 matches at home, so it's an incredibly good run. And they've not lost a league tie with Angers in the last 9 matches, so it's a pretty decent run there as well. And also, to boot, Angers are without a win away from home in their last 4 league matches. So, yeah, what we're steering towards in this one, though, is we do think Angers might get a goal. So we've gone for both teams to score. So you can get fairly good odds on that of 2.05. But for the win, if you do like just a win-draw-win market, Monaco to win is what we're predicting. You can only get 1.22 on that, which is kind of predictable because they're doing so well at home. So you won't get much in return. However, if you do go for a correct score prediction, like the one we've predicted, you will get odds of 11, which is the score of 3-1. So we think 3-1 to Monaco. And you can fill your boots with some good odds if that comes true. Of course, that's not guaranteed. But in our poll, you can look on our site, 66% of people think also that Monaco will get the home win. Angers, 10% of people, with the rest fancying a bit of a draw. But if you did want to put any money on Angers to win, which would be very brave to do, the odds of 12 on that and 6.5 for a draw. But yeah, we think, like most people, that it's probably more likely to be a win for Monaco. 3-1 is what we've gone for. Next, we've got Lille in 4th, who take on Lyon in 7th. This kicks off on Friday, the 1st of November, 8 p.m. UK time kickoff. Of course, on footballpredictions.net's page for this game, you can find your localized kickoff time odds, TV channel, streaming services, including Bet365. Watch it live stream from them. Use our bonus code FP365 if you're new to them, and you can watch it subscription free. It won't cost you anything. Just have deposited something in your account or have placed a bet in the last 24 hours and you can watch it for nothing. Well, this could be quite a good game, this one, because Lille are doing incredibly well, aren't they?
Yes, and that includes the Champions League, where they had wins against the two Madrid clubs, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. Now, most recently, they went to Lens and they beat Lens 2-0 in that game. So, yeah, overall, across all competitions, they actually have 5 wins from 6. The only one they didn't win, that was a 0-0 draw at Monaco, which is also a very good result in an under 2.5 goals game. So, yeah, that's a really good run that Lille is on, including the Champions League. Lyon, on the other hand, they were also on a pretty decent run until they lost at home to Besiktas in the Champions League. And then they had a 2-2 draw last weekend at home to Auxerre. There was a game where we predicted over 2.5 goals for both teams in that game. So yeah, we went with over 2.5 goals, ended 2-2. But yeah, in League One, in some of their most recent home game, apart from Auxerre, they beat Nantes 2-0, and we predicted 2-0 to Lyon in that one. And then they had Havre away from home, where they beat them 4-0. So yeah, they've had some good results of late. They do have 3 wins from 4 in League One, and they can score goals. They've scored 10 goals across League One over the last 4 games as well. So yeah, this could be a very entertaining game.
Yeah, exactly. And they do both score goals. So we've actually elected here for both teams to score prediction. Odds there you can get at 1.53 at the moment. Look on our site and you can see all the latest odds that you can get there, and you just click on the links. But we think it'll be a Lille win. So if you like that, you can get odds of 2.1 at the moment. Yeah, we think they'll carry on their winning ways. And for a correct score, we have actually opted for 2-1 to the home side. And if you like odds on that, it's 9 or 8-1. And in our poll, you've got 48% of you also think Lille will win, only 26% Lyon, with the rest a draw. But yeah, in the sort of odds markets, it's fairly close either way. So probably it could go either way, but we're veering towards the home side. So, but the both teams to score is probably one of the safest options that we can think of. Next, we've got PSG, who are obviously top of the table, taking on Lens, who are 5th, not too far behind. This is kicking off on Saturday, the 2nd of November, 4 p.m. Visit footballpredictions.net's page for this game, and you will find your local kickoff time, betting odds, and broadcast streaming channels, one of which is Bet365. Stream it there from them live. Use that bonus code FP365 if you're new to them. Now, yeah, PSG, they haven't lost for about a month, have they? But Lens are coming off a loss.
Yes, if we look at PSG, and that defeat has to be said, that was in the Champions League at Arsenal. And now in League One, they're yet to lose, and they're looking really, really good so far this season. They've scored 28 goals across 9 games, so that's 3 goals on average for PSG in League One, and they conceded just 8, but it does show you that they can concede. But yeah, overall, they're looking very solid. They're sitting number 1 with 23 points. In the most recent game, they traveled to Marseille and quite convincingly beat them 3-0. We said 3-1, so we were pretty close there on the correct score prediction. We had PSG down for a win. And then the most recent home game in League One was at home to Strasbourg, where we said both teams to score. That's the main prediction. And then a PSG win. And guess what? They won 4-2 in that game against Strasbourg. When it comes to Lens, they actually started the season pretty well, because they started with 2 wins, one against Brest, who is also playing in the Champions League. However, if you actually look at the last 7 games now, despite them sitting 5th in League One, they've actually only won 1 game out of the last 7. So that was an away win at Saint-Etienne. Their first defeat of the season came last week at home to Lille. And prior to those 2 games, they had 5 straight draws, 2 of which we predicted here on footballpredictions.net.
Mm-hmm.
So going into this game, I think Lille is Lens, just 1 win from 7 is probably the way to look at this. They're actually struggling for goals as well. If we look across those 7 matches, they've only scored, apart from the win, They only scored 4 goals in those other 6 games. And we think that they're going to struggle at PSG.
Yeah, not many goals usually in Lens games. The average goals for them in the last 6 games is 0.83, so less than a goal a game. So it's not very good. And also, to boot, they're playing PSG at PSG. So, they don't often win there, and they haven't had a win against them in their last 8 previous league matches. So, and they're also, having said that, they are unbeaten in their last 6 league matches away from home. So they've been doing pretty well on the road. Unbeaten does include lots of draws. But for this one, we can't really look past PSG. They've got such an array of attacking talent. And we're going for a high scoring game for this one, but we think PSG will score the goals. Over 2.5 goals is what we're predicting here. That's our tip. 1.49 are the odds you can get, but we think that's probably likely to come to fruition. We're going for a PSG win, similar kind of odds, 1.44 for a PSG win. And if you like a correct score prediction of 3-0, which is what we've gone for, you could get odds of 10 or 9-1 in the old money, a fractional. And regarding who will win for our poll, go to our page for this. You'll see that 73% at the moment people voting for PSG, only 5% would think Lens will get a win, and the rest hoping for a draw in terms of their predictions. So you can join in and vote on that one as well. If you go for a Lens win, away win, you can only get odds of 6.5. I find that fairly surprising. And a draw, you can get odds of 5. But PSG odds of 1.44 for a win at the moment, and that's what we are thinking will happen. For our final featured match, we've got Brest in 10th, who are taking on Nice in 8th. This one kicks off on Saturday, 2nd of November, 6 p.m. UK time. You can find your localized kickoff time, game odds, and available broadcast streaming channels for this match on footballpredictions.net. Go to our page for this, and you'll see that it's being broadcast live streamed by Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365, and you can watch it subscription free. And fairly close in the table, these two, and they've had a mixed bag of results, haven't they, really?
Yes, although it has to be said that Brest is coming into form more of late, like compared to the beginning of the season. They started League One with 4 defeats from 6. However, you could also turn it around now and say they've actually only got 1 defeat from 8, including those Champions League games where they're still undefeated. And of course, this is the first season that Brest ever is competing in the Champions League. So it seems like they're slowly getting back into let's say old Brest, like that we knew from last season. Last weekend they went to Reims and beat them 2-1 in League One, and then in the Champions League they had a 1-1 draw at home to Bayer Leverkusen in a both teams to score game, which we predicted. In League One, the most recent home game was against Rennes. And guess what? We predicted 1-1 in that game, and it ended 1-1. We also predicted Brest to beat Havre prior to that. That was another home game in League One, and they beat them 2-0. And then they had that fairly emphatic win in Salzburg, where they beat them 4-0 in the Champions League. So I would say Brest really sort of starting to get back on track, both in League One, but of course a good start in the Champions League. Nice, on the other hand, they were on a bit of a run with no wins in both League One and the Europa League, because they had 2 defeats in the Europa League at Ferencváros and at Lazio. And then in League One, since that 8-0 win mid-September against Saint-Etienne, they then followed that up with 3 draws. One of those was at home game against PSG. But then most recently, last weekend, they beat Monaco 2-1 at home. So the 2 top teams, they took 4 points from those at home, which is pretty good results. It's also probably show the potential of this Nice team. But I would say Nice, fairly unpredictable team, judging by the results, including the Europa League. Brest sort of more steady, but no doubt this is going to be a really tight game.
Yeah, a tight game, and probably a tricky one to predict. They're very evenly matched. We have gone here. Our tip here is actually a low-scoring game. We're going for an under 2.5 goals game. That's our tip. 1.67 are the odds you can get for that. So have a look at that one. Now, we can't really separate them, so we've gone for a draw. we can't really see who's going to win. It could go either way, so tricky to tip on. But we've gone for a draw. Good odds on a draw, 3.25. Now, we said it's going to be low scoring, so that's obviously either 1-1 or 0-0. Our tip here is actually a no goals game. We're going to go for a 0-0, a ball draw, and the odds you can get for that are 8.5. I'm just looking at our poll. Just a few more people think Nice will win than Brest. Brest, 32% of people think they'll win. 37% think Nice will win, with the rest, which is a good 33%, going for a draw. And 21% of those, or 21% going for a 0-0 draw, which is what we are also thinking. So yeah, don't know why we're all thinking that, but if that's what happens when all is said and done, then we can be fairly happy with that result. So now to our summary games, and we've got Saint Etienne in 16th, who take on Strasbourg, who are in 9th. This one's on Saturday, 2nd November, 8 p.m. UK time kickoff, and find your local live streaming stuff on our site, including Bet365, which you can watch this on live streamed. Use our bonus code FP365 to watch it subscription free. And for this game, we think it's going to be a Strasbourg away win. And our tip here is actually for under 2.5 goals again. And our correct score prediction is 1-0 to Strasbourg, the away side.
Yes, and then on to Toulouse in 14th, who play Rennes in 6th. This is a game that takes place Sunday, 3rd of November, 2 o'clock UK time. And it's another game, of course, you can watch live and free on Bet365 using FP365 when you sign up. For this game, we're going with a low-scoring game, under 2.5 goals, a Toulouse win, and a correct score prediction of 1-0 Toulouse.
Yeah, next one we've got is Auxerre in 13th to take on Rennes, who are in 11th. And this one kicks off on Sunday, the 3rd of November, 4 p.m. kickoff, UK time. And watch it again on Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365 if you're new to them. Watch it subscription free. And for this one, well, we think it's actually going to be another low-scoring game. We're going for under 2.5 goals again. And we think it'll be an away win. We've gone for Rennes to win. So it's going to be our correct score prediction of 0-1, Auxerre 0, Rennes 1.
Yes, and then we move on to Havre in 17th against Montpellier in 18th. Another game takes place Sunday, 3rd of November, this time at 4 o'clock in the afternoon UK time. It's another game you can follow live on Bet365, free and live, using FP365 when signing up. Two teams in shocking form. And I just have to mention, I know this is a summarized games, but we've had the last 6 outcome predictions correct on both of these teams in Ligue 1. Now, going into this one, we are going with an Havre win, low-scoring game, so under 2.5 goals, Havre to win, and a correct score of 1-0.
Yep. Next up, we've got Nantes, who are 12th, taking on Marseille, who are 3rd. And this is on Sunday, 3rd November, 7:45 UK time in the evening. And again, live stream it on Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365 to watch it for free. And yeah, for this one, kind of going with the table positions, we are actually going for another low scorer, under 2.5 goals again. And we're going for an away win, Marseille to win, a 1-0. That's our correct score. Now, if you're planning to live stream any of these matches on Bet365, geolocation and live stream rules apply. 18 plus, gamble aware, and use the bonus code FP365 as we mentioned if you haven't already got an account.
Yes, and in the description section of this podcast, you'll find links to the matches we've just been discussing, or simply head to footballpredictions.net. And why do that? Well, it's where you find the online places to watch games from your location via streaming and TV channels, our tips for different betting markets, team news, as well as the latest offers and odds.
You may be interested to know that we also produce these football podcasts for a number of competitions in addition to Ligue 1, and you can listen to them all at podcast.footballpredictions.net, or of course, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts from. Well, that's all. Thanks for joining us. Until the next time, it is
Havre.
A football prediction.